Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Music. I'm so excited to have each and every one of y'all here. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Season 5 of Behind the Music. For those who are just tuning in, for those who are just getting introduced, this is a platform and honestly podcast that started way back in 2020 in collaboration with Loud Army. Loud Army is a music tech company that likes to bring together artists and producers. They've done this in several ways throughout the year. I don't know if you've ever been to a Loud Army event, okay, or you've ever heard of the sound booth that they created, the portable sound booth that they were created, and now they have moved on to another innovation, another entity, which is Stream. It is a platform very similar to Spotify, except artists who participate, artists who are a member and are distributing their music through Stream, get 50% of the profit that is coming in. So if you are an artist that is interested in finding another platform where the ROI makes a little bit more sense, definitely look into Stream by Loud Army. This podcast gets featured on their show. Every episode is on their show. And if you want to go back to some of the older episodes, you can find it on Loud Army's page as well. But definitely tap in if you are an artist looking for another place to distribute your music, or if you're a music lover just looking to discover more amazing rising talent from across Canada and honestly from across the world. Tap into Loud Army because that is the place to be. As you know, every week we have a fantastic artist. We love to showcase the diversity of the Canadian music landscape here on Behind the Music. Last week we tapped into the traditional indigenous music, and today we are getting into some upbeat Afro fusion vibes, okay? I'm so excited to have the one and only Mendosa on the show today, okay? He is an amazing DJ, and honestly, he's doing some quite spectacular things here in the city with his platform, La French, which we will be getting into quite soon. Actually, let's get into it right about now. Mendosa is a Toronto-based DJ specializing in Afro sound like Afrobeats, Amapiano, Coupé Décalé, I think I said that right, and vibrant Francophone music from France, the Caribbean, and Africa. Mendoza's sets are globally celebrated for rhythm and culture. I'm so excited to have him on. So without further ado, y'all, I'm gonna need y'all to drop your favorite emoji as we welcome Mendosa.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm well. You seem very mellow. You just chilling today?
Always, always. Whether we're
Always.
working or chilling, whatever we're doing, always smiling.
Well, I'm excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
For sure. Thanks for the
It's
invite.
um it's quite interesting because last week we had a traditional indigenous music artist on the show, and today you're bringing the vibes from Africa. So and across the islands actually. So I'm excited to
Absolutely.
chop it up with you. Speaking of which though, you grew up in Congo.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. What was your upbringing like?
I mean, very different from life here.
Yeah.
Spent the first 19 years of my life in Congo. So went through all the cycles you can imagine until becoming an adult. Very different. I mean, obviously, way less diverse, right? It's mostly Congolese people over there. So coming to Canada is definitely a different environment, but then you get to learn about different cultures, etc. So that's nice.
Amazing. Okay, so it was a little different. I can imagine. I went to Ghana the top of the year, and it was extremely different. It was extremely different in
All
terms of
right.
lifestyle. Just even the pace of life was just a lot more mellow.
Oh yeah, very much.
Yeah. That's cool. But there, it was when you're in Congo, as you started to grow up, your passion for music eventually started to kick in. So, what was it about the Congolese culture that sparked your passion for music?
I mean, Congo has a really big music culture. We came up with Rumba music. We have a lot of different music styles that influence a lot of different music in Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, France to this day. So it's always been part of the culture. I don't think there's a single person that grows up in Congo without being somewhat affiliated with music or having a cousin that makes music, etc. In my own family, I have gospel singers, I have musicians, etc. So I've always been surrounded by music.
Okay, and so when did the DJing kick in then?
First time I was 15.
Yeah.
Uh, when I did my first couple gigs, I was 15 to 17.
Okay.
Those 2 years, I played a couple gigs in
Okay.
high
Yeah.
school parties, and
Yeah.
then I stopped for a while and until I came here, and then COVID hit. Um, I was re-practicing again during COVID on my own, but then
Yeah.
I was in school, so I was pretty busy. It's only in 2022 that I really started getting back into DJing. So I kind of took a long break in my career in a way.
Okay, okay. And it was because of school and stuff, which I think that's very normal. I remember when I was in school too, I was doing what I can in terms of music, but it wasn't a main priority. And that's interesting.
Same. Yeah, very
Did it
much.
impact your soul in any way?
You like not playing, not DJing at all.
Yeah, not GJ, not like, did you feel a little bit empty during those years, or was it just like whatever, putting this to the side, focusing on school, keep it moving type of vibe?
Yeah, in a way. Honestly, I would say yeah. In a way, always felt like something was missing because I would always be DJing a little bit at home. During school, I still did a couple gigs here and there, but I wasn't really taking it, seriously or taking it as a career. I was still playing at home sometimes, so DJing was still around, but then yeah, there was definitely something missing.
Yeah, okay, fair, fair. Okay, so you started when you were 15, and then when you were 19, that's when you decided to come to Canada. Were there any doubts roaming through your head during that transition?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, right? Like I came to Toronto. I didn't know anyone. I was
Yeah.
19. It was it was a lot. So I also moved here in December, so which wasn't the greatest idea because it was cold. It was cold,
Yeah,
you know.
and a lot of people do
First,
that too. I don't know why.
I get it because then you experience winter right away, and
Yeah.
then you're good. Because if you come here in June and you experience summer and you think it's gonna be like that, and then you get to December, January, and it's freezing. Yeah, no, it's not the greatest thing. But it wasn't easy, right? You move here, don't know anybody. It's cold, and then COVID happened 2.5 months after that. So that wasn't really fun, but we survived.
You definitely did survive and you soared. Okay.
Thank you.
I don't I don't know what happened in the 2020, 2021 era, but since school passed, you've fully indulged yourself within the music industry. You've been able to get your residency, you've been able to perform at so many amazing places. You know, you were talking about like when school was in full progress, that's kind of when you were focused, but then eventually you made the switch back to DJing. Was there something that happened, or was it just like, I missed this, I need to do it again?
I kind of knew that I wanted to really get back into DJing when I was done with school.
Yeah.
Um, I knew that that was in a way a step for me.
Hmm.
Something I really needed to finish, and because it was a lot. School was a lot. It was so I decided to really focus on school
Yeah.
first, finish school, and I knew as soon as I was done with school, I was gonna start DJing again. Which is funny because then it really happened exactly like that. As soon as I graduated, maybe 2 weeks later, I was doing gigs again in Toronto. So
What?
it
And
was
but wait, but that was your first time doing gigs in Toronto.
um yeah,
Or what?
technically yeah. Yes, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so was it your friends that knew that you were a good DJ, or like how did the people know to put you on?
I had met a couple people, during COVID and then in 2021, 2022, they became my friends that were
Yeah.
already DJs, established DJs in the city, like
Okay.
my friend Imanzi or Sound Curator. So some of those guys had already been DJing in the city for years. They had their residency, their parties going on for them, and we became friends. And I would sometimes practice with them, right? Would just be, practicing. And then when I told them in 2022, hey, like as soon as I'm done with school, I'm getting back into this. So
Yeah.
they opened some opportunities for me, and I jumped in right away.
They held you to it. They're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely. To this
amazing.
day.
Yeah, and that speaks to the power of networking and then also manifesting, but like also you were planting seeds when you were in school. You were like,
You
yeah, I
have
can't
to.
focus on this, but I'm still gonna be talking to the people.
Absolutely, you have to.
Yeah, okay, that's amazing. Good for you. Good for you. So it wasn't, diving into the Canadian music landscape, it wasn't really an intimidating process for you. It seems like it was a flow. It was a vibe.
It wasn't really a flow. I mean, that's because the other thing is, during COVID, you're not as much outside, so I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know. I'm still learning about the industry to this day, right? But not having grown up here, I didn't know really where the industry was. I didn't know anybody apart from like the two, three, four friends I made along the way. So I really
Yeah.
had to build all my connections from the ground up to this day, right? Which is
Yeah.
something that I'm still building. So I wouldn't say it was intimidating because I always loved the challenge, but it wasn't easy.
Mhm. 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 Okay, okay. But you were lucky enough to find the right people and vibe with the right people so that they could also give you opportunities.
Yeah, they didn't really they gave me opportunities, but it's also very much I had to prove myself even to them, right? So it's a
Okay.
small opportunity and I really have to come through and kill it and show up on time and just
Yeah.
be good people. And then when the next opportunity comes in, I'm right there ready to take it and like just like that for 2, 3 years now almost.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And that's interesting how you said prove yourself because I mean, there's a lot of that. Right? There's a lot of that. As a young adult, you just constantly have to prove yourself, right? But for you, proving yourself, was it more like etiquette or was it skills or and what were those moments where you were able to prove yourself to your DJ friends?
I think it's everything, right? It's because I think DJing at home with them is one thing, but then for them is are you actually a good DJ? Can you actually rock a crowd, right? Like I've known you for a year, but I've never really seen you play in front of a crowd. So can you actually rock a crowd? Like who you are as a person too. Are you humble enough to take criticism? And then your behavior, right? Are you there on time? Like how do you talk to people around you? How do people around you talk about yourself? Like all that put together. So it's really, showcasing who you are and why you deserve that opportunity. And, the smallest opportunity, right? Take it, uh, try to shine, but keep your head down, stay humble always, and keep working, and I think also them seeing the progress and the work you put behind the scenes, also like a really good indicator of who you can become.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And your friends, were they DJing the same genre as you? Afrobeats, Afrofusion type stuff? Or...
More or less, I would say, yeah, Afrobeats, R&B, dancehall, really
Okay.
around all that.
Yeah.
Um, I've been playing mostly Afro and Caribbean music recently only. I've always
Yes, you.
been, mhm. And them as well, right? They've always been pretty open format with affinities in a lot of different genres.
Absolutely. Okay, cool. I was just wondering if that also like impacts the progress and the flow of like the dynamic if the folks who are putting you on also DJ the same music.
The one of them, yes, one of them, I mean, was known for that too. So I think it definitely, I wouldn't say impacted my choice because that's always been my thing as an African, but I'd
Mm-hmm.
say it just showed me that there was a way to really build a
The
career,
synonymous.
in this lane in
Yeah.
Toronto.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's that's actually really powerful. Because if you don't see it, it's hard to believe it. But you were constantly in the
Exactly.
right spaces to see it. That's amazing.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so like as you said, your influences these days is Afrobeat, Zouk, Kompa, and Shatta music. So I'm sure people are like familiar, but for those that aren't, can you kind of tell us the origin of these genres and why do they speak to you?
Okay, so I mean, there's a lot of different genres, but if we talk about the African ones, right? There's There's Afrobeats and Afrofusion from
Yes.
Nigeria. You have High Life from Ghana. You have Coupé Décalé from Ivory Coast. You have Ndombolo, um, and different variation of Afro music. I can say I don't even know if there's really a name
Hmm.
for that. From Congo, there's Kuduro from Angola, Amapiano from South Africa. I think just being African and growing up in Africa, I've always been exposed to all these genres, and they all speak to me, right? Like there's always this connection in African music, with the drums and the melodies.
Yeah.
And one thing about African music, it's even when it's sad, it's not sad, right?
I know it's
Um,
upbeat. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Why
yeah,
am I still
some of the
dancing
biggest
to
songs are
this
actually
depressing
pretty
song?
sad. Yeah, for example, Burna Boy Last Last. It's a depressing song, right? It's a heartbreak
Yeah.
song, but it's still upbeat, and that's one thing about African music and Africans in general, right?
Hmm.
So I've always been connected and will always be connected to different genres within the continent of Africa.
Yeah.
And then I've also same in about the same way with Caribbean music. My first introduction to Caribbean music were reggae, but South African reggae back in the days. And then there's obviously the Francophone
Oh,
Caribbean music, Zouk, Kompa, having Haitians in Africa as well, and that connection to France. And then from there I grew to loving dancehall as well and some soca music,
yeah.
etc.
Yeah, I was really curious, especially the Caribbean influences as well, because I was like, okay, I get the French Caribbean translation. I understand why you love it, but like also music it's a language that anybody can flow with and vibe with. So you don't necessarily have to originate from like one place or another, but it's just really cool to see that you incorporate these genres in particular.
It's like you said, it's great music, right? Like as long as it's great music, I like it. And then, there's also the people around you, right? Like if you have a lot of Caribbean people around you, or maybe what you consume, for example, watching American movies and all that, so that there's the hip hop culture influence as well, and
Yeah.
R&B, and then the American pop, and you just get influenced by everything around you, and then you, in a way, just build your affinities and what you like.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so you've been able to do that as a DJ, but also with a group of people at La French. So congratulations on that. It's a whole movement. For those that
Thank
don't
you.
know, it's a monthly residency at the Drake Underground. Um, did you ever expect it to be as big and established as it is today?
No. It's actually funny because first time we did it was back in July 2023.
Yeah,
And we were really not expecting. We just wanted, a night where we could have all those songs and all that music that we don't hear anywhere else in Toronto. So the three of us, the three founders, all being Francophone, and it was a really big success. We had way more people than we expected, and we're like, there could be something here, right? Um, and then we just started building from there, and more and more people started joining the movement. I wouldn't even call it a movement; it's just a community, right,
right.
of francophones in Toronto. And then we just gather around music, and so we realized there's actually way more people affiliated or that would love to be affiliated with francophones in Toronto. So we
Yeah.
just keep growing and we're just trying to bring as many people together as possible.
That's amazing. No, that's amazing. And congratulations. It's so
Thank
interesting
you.
too, because it's like, why hasn't something like that already been created or is a thing, you know? So I'm so happy that you're able to fill that gap and you're doing it so successfully with bops. Bare
Thank you.
bops. Good energy only. It's awesome. Most recently too, you were a part of the remix project. What was that
Yes.
experience like for you?
I would say it was life-changing, really. Doing this project was great. I met so many amazing people, made so many friends, learned a lot, right? Got to meet new mentors now and just gave me a different perspective too. It helped me decide really how I want to build myself and who I want to be. I think just being in that space for 9 months and learning from, all these people have such great amount of experience in the industry that we want to be in. It was just an amazing time, man. the fact that it's not never over, right? Like as alumni, we're in remix forever. So it's I think it's definitely life changing for me.
Yeah. Oh, I love to hear that. Life changing. Jesus, that's a big statement.
It is because even career wise, right? It brought up opportunities, visibility too. And again, just the amount of friends I made from just being in the program, the amount of like-minded people you meet, right? So there's all that. Yeah, definitely life-changing. Just like college is life can be life-changing for some people. I mean, it is for most people. The remix was life-changing for me.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it also helps you kind of dabble into your own artistry as well, hey?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're there with other creators. So for example, myself as a DJ, just being there with other DJs, practicing DJs with completely different styles. So you learn something and bounce ideas off of each other. We have classes, so you learn from an experienced teacher, and then you go into, the music production studio. So you're with producers, and then you learn something from them, and they learn something from you, et cetera, et cetera. So just being in that environment, yeah, definitely helps you grow.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Mate, is there any words of advice or anything that you would want to share, especially from someone who isn't necessarily born and raised in Toronto, but immigrated here as a newcomer, able to find success within your passion, and able to get into programs that seem to be like exclusive to just Torontonians, but not necessarily, you know? So, do you have any words of advice for folks who are interested in going down this path with a similar background as you?
I think honestly, to me, it just comes down to one thing is you have to love what you do. That's the very first thing. You have to really love it and then know that anything is possible. You just once you choose, make sure you choose your lane and you just go for it. There's no nothing can stop you if you do that, right? Like you choose your lane, you just keep going for it. Make sure you learn as much as possible and you keep pushing, pushing, and then eventually, even if doors are not open by default, well, you break through them and you'll create your own lane and make yourself a spot.
Period. Period. Create your own lane. Do it. Amazing. So, what can we expect next from you, or even La French?
So I just did Jerk and Jollof this past weekend. It was really, really great. Big party at Access Club. Super fun. I think next, I mean, obviously the summer's coming up, so there's a lot of stuff planned, a lot of day parties as well. Some traveling, but I won't say much on that until it happens. And there's a big event coming up too on May 18th. So there's one of Africa's hottest DJ right now, Dope Caesar, who's coming to Toronto for the first time. It's gonna be a Rebel. Amazing party. I'm gonna be on the lineup as well. So for all the Afrobeats lovers, that's the place to be on the Victoria Day long weekend. And otherwise, just checking for the socials for everything coming up this summer. La French will also have a couple of big events planned outside of our monthly residency at the Drake. So that's also something to be on the lookout for.
Yes, definitely. Okay, y'all. So y'all heard it here first. If you are into any of these genres that we were talking about, Afrobeats, Afrofusion, Kompa, any of them, definitely go give Mendoza a follow. And then it's in your bio, right? It's in the link of
Yes, it's in
bio.
my bio.
The link in his bio where you can find out about all of these events, get your tickets, be there, and have a good time. Especially if you're
Yes.
looking for a partner who can speak French, you know? That's cool. I was gonna ask you about La French. I was like, why'd you guys name it La French instead of like La Français or French? Or like I don't know, La French is really like messing with my mind. Like
Yeah. I think
I
because
think
it's
it's really like
easier.
La Français
I think because
or
it's
La France.
easier. Because even French people, right, like to say parlons French or like just to add that little touch. And then I also think for even for non-francophones, they francophones understand right away what it means, but non-francophones as well, right?
Mm.
They
Mm.
versus français, if they don't necessarily know that that's how you say French in French,
Yeah.
right? It could create some confusion where French is universal.
Yeah. And
as
then
a word
laugh.
in a way.
You could laugh mutes
Exactly.
francophone.
Exactly. And so they can just I think it's super straightforward and they're able to
Yeah.
get it right away.
Yeah.
Um so we play on both words, right? One in English, one in French.
I love it. I love it. It makes sense when you explained it like that. In my head, though, it's just like someone that studies French. It's like, whoa, what are we doing here? Like,
Yeah, it's the wordplay we wanted. It's the reaction we wanted because then you don't forget about it.
Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Cool, 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 cool. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of this live. Thank you so much for joining me and
Yeah, thank you for
sharing,
having me.
yeah, talking about your journey and all the things. And congratulations on all your success as a DJ. So we'll see you
Thank you,
guys next
Latoya.
week.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. That's today's episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more conversations with artists in Canada.